We gotta get a clapper thing. Welcome to Us Watching Us. This is a series of live streams that turn into videos on YouTube where we watch videos of ourselves from 2009 and 2010 as we did a videoed trip around the world and put it all on YouTube back in the day. And we are getting towards the end now of that trip, and we are in the country of Jordan. And I'll bring up a map. Whoa, look how fast that was today. And show you guys where Jordan is. So here we are. This is the world. And we had finished a whole bunch of stuff over in Asia and worked our way this way. And we're kind of headed our way to get back to the United States. And we're in the end leg of the trip. And last week we had discussed a crossing from Egypt where we took a ferry that was expensive apparently. And we came up to Aqaba. And we spent some time here. And then we went up a little bit further north and went to Wada Musa, is this the right area? Where we then visited the amazing ruined city of Petra. So this week we will be picking up where we have come up to the capital of Jordan and the largest city, Amman. And we'll be spending some time watching one really long video that I made. And this is interesting because this video is like 40 minutes or something. It's the first time, I think, from making YouTube videos that I decided to just make one big long video as opposed to like videos that were like 15 minutes long split up into a bunch of pieces. For some reason, I'm not sure what I was thinking, but I was just like, well, whatever, I'll just make it all one video.
When did you get the ability to make videos that were longer than 10 minutes?
Somewhere during this trip, I think maybe when we were in like India or something, I remember being like, oh, I don't have the 10-minute limit anymore, which was something that we all had like on YouTube way back in the day. Like you could only make videos of a certain length, but they lifted it for us once we had enough views or something. I don't remember what the thing was. So anyways, at this point we had like unlimited viewage, and I was like, okay. And now we're kind of like maybe a bit known for excessively long videos.
Form videos.
So this is kind of like the first one that was like long. So we're going to be watching the time that we spent there. And then next week we'll be picking up at the very end, maybe. I don't know if we'll get through the entire thing, but we go and we spend some time in Jerusalem, and that'll be the end of the international portion of the round the world trip before we fly back to the United States. So that might be next week or the next 2 weeks. I'm not sure yet. So anyway, like I said, we're going to be watching Amman in Jordan today. And
the loner one, the answer to your question is yes. The live stream with the butt plug in the window.
Is that the live stream? Wait, what now?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
Sunday.
Oh. I was like, that happened in Israel or Amman or something? I was like, what? I see. Okay, so let me get the video up, and then we will jump into this one long video. Do you guys have a bonk?
Oh, we got a new intro.
Everybody should have a bonk. Oh, yeah. Yeah, imagine. This is stuff that happened in this video. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, guys, let's go. After exploring Petra, we took a short bus ride from Wadi Musa to the capital of Jordan, Amman. So we're at Hashem restaurant, and apparently it's famous, and there's pictures of like the royal family up here that have eaten here. So I guess it's, royal family famous, and it's just a hummus place. And we got turned on to this place by Isaac in Oman. Yep. The falafel and hummus and pita and tea, same standard affair, but it's amazing how good this really basic meal can be. There's like a pepperzini juice on the hummus. I've never tasted that strongly before in a hummus, so that's exciting to say the least. Walter and Hannah, hey, thank you for the sub. You gotta get musical with your cock sometimes.
So here's a new one for you. We've been to a lot of places where they did some really random things that were kind of gross. But this
Do you know where this is going?
Nope.
Neither do I. I have no idea.
Something that's kind of gross.
It's probably going to lift that thing up and it's going to be nasty inside or something like that, maybe.
This one is pretty high up on the list for me because I sit down at the table. They've got free water right there. God, I would love to drink that water. You ask them for a cup, and they will point to the cups that are already on the table. And that means those are communal cups. They put them on the table at the beginning of the day, and they take them off the table at the end of the day. So everyone, maybe. So everyone that you see using them is basically drinking from the same.
That shit done changed. Corona ended that shit. Motherfucker hired a dishwasher.
One would assume.
Cup that everyone at this table drank from earlier. So if that guy's got a cold that was here 2 hours ago or whatever, can a cold stay on a cup for 2 hours?
We're gonna find out.
Anyways, it's just really, really gross, so I don't get any water. That sucks.
Plus one job in Jordan.
So it's our first real day in Amman, and we're walking up this gigantic hill.
What are your thoughts about your time in Amman?
I immediately think of the landscape of the buildings and just how monochromatic it was and how crazy it looked to me. I think about the food. I think about it being dusty, and that's really all that I've got labeled for it.
That's all that's left.
Yeah, I do this. I definitely do that. If
I don't hear it.
You just needed to know. Yeah, maybe it's something else you're doing that I hear.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll let you know when you do it.
Citadel, and we noticed all these balloons in the air that have a note attached to them. And you can see one right there. And we were going to try and figure out what the note said. But I don't think that balloon's ever going to take off. Maybe we'll find out. But there are a bunch in the sky over here. You can't really see them because the camera's probably not that good. There goes one. What do they say? Alright, so this is what we found out.
What are the odds that this note was going to be in English?
What are the odds?
Apparently some kids are sending off talking balloons. Yasmin, a third grader, loves her teacher, says that her teacher is her mom and that her teacher is a flower. Lots of love, many, many hearts. So we're picking this guy up out of the rubble that was down there, and hopefully we can send him off in a better way. You want to do the honors?
Right into the electrical grid.
Not enough helium in this balloon.
Yeah, the paper is too heavy.
Yeah. Oh well.
I wonder if we could have torn off some of the paper
Maybe.
that wasn't like part of the message.
I did my best.
And these are Eric's pants.
We talked about these now for the last 3 weeks.
This was one of the reasons that the trip ending was great. I didn't have to deal with these pants anymore. Like every third day, you tore them.
Don't worry, girl. I can take them off. You gotta deal with them. This is the kind of pants you gotta wear if you want to get your pants off around your lady. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just tear them up.
Yeah, that was the.
Sewing them up. I think I've spent like 6 hours total sewing these pants up. And they still just kind of look like garbage because the moment that he sits down, they just split.
I look good.
Yeah, he looks good.
We got what, 18 days? 16 days, something like that?
You think they'll last?
No. We're gonna be busting out everywhere.
Try to keep it in.
No promises.
See, I told you.
Yeah, this is what I remember.
My favorite looking cities, but it definitely is unique looking. It's like a Middle Eastern city crossed with San Francisco. It's sort of built on a hill, and you can see everything over here is up on another hill.
It's like all one color. It's beige. It's very beige. I wonder if it's just for heat.
Man, earthquake? Bye.
Yeah.
Are these mud huts?
No, I don't think so. I wonder if it's just they build with this color to reflect heat away.
Dirty.
Smart.
And it's kind of clean, and I don't know, it feels like Cairo and San Francisco and Muscat all got together and hung out. And this That's another one of the world's largest flagpoles. I actually think this is bigger than the one that we saw down in Aqaba. It's all very confusing. I'm not sure. Our book is very bad at informing you on accurate facts, I believe.
Ooh, shit talking Lonely Planet.
Everything the biggest flagpole.
Take a drink. You gotta take a drink.
Why?
Because that's a drinking game. Shit talking Lonely Planet. Drink some of that.
I don't want to drink that.
Ugh.
It's got to be funner than that.
So this is the Amman Citadel, and it is a collection of ruins from like 1500.
Didn't you climb up on top of this thing or something, and it felt like you weren't allowed to, but then nobody cared?
I don't remember. Guess we're gonna find out.
1,000 years ago, maybe even longer.
I think we met some dude here.
Well, this is only 1,500 years old. This thing says the Byzantine church from about 550 AD. So this used to be a church, and now it's just a bunch of rubble. And there is...
Yeah. You climb up on that.
This thing over here, I don't know what it is. I don't know what any of this is.
I remember feeling like you were going to get in trouble,
Yeah,
and
me too.
then I think nobody cared.
And then nobody cared.
Wait, it is what? Katie thinks it might be an amphitheater. Like a small indoor amphitheater.
At this stage in your life, were you memorizing page numbers?
I've always
Like,
been memorizing page numbers.
you'll be like, hold on, I
be at
gotta check
school.
page 324. And you'll open it at 324, and it's exactly what you're looking
I
for.
remember numbers really easily.
Yeah, you do, actually.
Yeah.
You'll hear phone numbers, and you just, like, rattle them off.
Yeah, but it's all in like short-term memory. I think my short-term memory is thicker and a little bit longer than other people's, but yeah. I hope
Audience hall, domed audience hall. So there you go. You've learned something. And then there's just like, this is actually pretty cool. I'm going to get a better shot of that in a minute.
That's rad.
Maybe I'll put that here and you can look at it. And
you didn't.
It's, just, it's a cool place. Like it's the highest hill in town. And you can see all of the cool architecture and all of the cool buildings.
Amman is really cool looking. It's just a big cluster of stuff on a hill, on many hills. It looks great. I really like it.
Yeah, it's definitely ingrained into my memory.
See if I can support Katie and her. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at those physics. Katie's taking pictures for this lady. That was a model. Couple things to note that's going on here is
Call to prayer.
Katie is looking amazing on this edge with the city. And you may be able to hear call to prayer is going off right now. And it's coming from about 100 directions. So it's pretty trippy sounding. It's just so much reverb and just bouncing through the hills. And this is I don't remember the date. Basically, this is a well. They
Whoa.
water, and
That's the biggest well I've ever seen.
is when this was constructed or around then. They would fill this with water, and apparently it used to be full of plaster. Like down at the bottom of the stairs, you can still see it a little bit, but it used to be full of a waterproof plaster. This would be filled with water, and then they would use, like, there's a hole down there, and that would push the water, the pressure obviously would push the water out, and it worked for the public baths and latrines and different things in the area.
That's wild.
Why?
Hey, what's up?
This thing's pretty impressive looking on the inside. Let's go in, shall we? Come on, check it out. It's cool.
Oh, okay.
The dome of this vestibule is a modern recreation. The original dome's interior would have been painted and plastered, so it would have looked a lot different than this gorgeous wooden architecture that they have up now. Needless to say, it's pretty neat.
That's overdubbed.
Yeah, that was an overdub, man.
So this is that dome that's on top of that building. And I don't think I'm supposed to be up here.
Wait, I'm up there? Shit! I thought it was
I
you.
think we went up there and then we realized nobody cared, so we started doing weird stuff. I do remember there being a photo shoot.
Katie's trying to figure out how to get here. We split up, like, trying to figure out how to get
I went up there first.
You're bad.
to the top. And I don't know where she went. Ah, there she is. She found the same path I found. Okay.
I like the high
We're
place.
supposed to be up top there, and I came down to take some pictures of Katie. While she was up there, and a security guard came into this room, and I was on the other side out there, and he came out, looking pretty suspicious. Like, and he was gonna walk out, and he could tell I was taking pictures of somebody up there, and he came out, and he was like kind of snooping around, and she was still like right up.
This is such. I wonder if I knew he was there at all, because we couldn't really talk to each other.
It's like a game, like a video game where there's like, you know, like you're in a place and the security comes and you have to like
thing?
wait. Yeah.
Oh man, I almost said some bad stuff. Never mind.
Love us. And talking to him and stuff. He distracted him, and he eventually just smoked a cigarette and sat down. So sometimes you got to break out the social skills to distract the man.
The area that we're standing in is the Temple of Hercules. Not much more than a couple of columns and a little bit of rubble, but it's still kind of cool to know that somebody was here going, gosh, Hercules is awesome. Let's build a temple.
How was I getting my hair cut on this trip?
You got it cut like once.
In Korea?
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's I'm starting to look like I need a trim.
You got a bit of scruff going on. But it's 16 days, so.
So you leave the Umayyad area and you come into the Roman area, and it just, everything gets much, much bigger. Much bigger.
Why did it come over to my side?
I don't want to fall.
Oh.
Leftovers, ruins, I guess. There's a big amphitheater
Oh, wow.
down here, and then there's this like, this whole area was apparently like administrative or something. Like you'd meet for different types of diplomatic purposes. So it's pretty cool to look down on it, and then you get the rest of modern Amman, which is just really astonishing looking.
It's kind of wild. So, who's that lady? To think about how diverse the Roman Empire was. Like it covers like, you know, Italy, of course, and Rome, but also like we've seen stuff that was like in Croatia and leftovers of stuff that was here in Jordan, when there was stuff in Alexandria, and they had touches of stuff going on in England. Like just how even nowadays how diverse that land region is, and where you can find like leftovers of like Roman Empire stuff.
This is actually
Yeah,
kind of funny
Algeria,
because I don't know how to say this, but Israel じゃなくて Jordan. Jordan. How do I get out of this? I don't know the country's name, like, and I feel like they wouldn't call it Jordan.
Jordan? The country?
Yeah. Is
the country's name is Jordan.
I know, but
in Japanese, the pronunciation?
Is it Jordan?
Israel no tonari no kuni wa Jordan. でも Jordan は
Jordan?
日本語の発音は何? Yeah, is that going to work?
Jordan.
Yorudan.
Ah, Yorudan.
We're at this little museum in Amman, and in here they've got some of the
Dude, this has got some weird shit in it. I only remember because I saw the pictures when I was looking for pictures today.
Dead Sea Scrolls,
Oh, that as well.
which is kind of astonishing. I didn't expect to find something of such importance.
I wonder if that's accurate.
But these are these copper plates that they found, and they were like the only scriptures that they found at the Dead Sea that were made of a metal instead of some sort of like fabric or you know, some other type of material. I mean, it's just strange to have something carved into copper. And they apparently
They're replicas.
like a city name and street name, and its locations of treasures around the Palestinian region.
It's like a Indiana Jones movie, man.
If everything is taken at face value, this is basically a treasure map that shows a collection of things that's worth around $1 billion. So that's pretty interesting. There's 3 sheets here. The first one over here, of course. Number 2. Number 3. Apparently, from what I read, whoever actually wrote these probably didn't read or understand the language. It seems like they were transcribed, like they looked at something else and then wrote down what they think, like they copied the shapes basically. Like if you took and wanted to write Korean or something, you just look at it and kind of make the shapes, you wouldn't know what it meant. And it's just obvious by some of the mistakes that were made. Don't know how true that is, but that's just what I just read on the old Wikipedia. But I'm pretty surprised in this little museum to have found something like this. The museum's I mean, it's like, it looks kind of dumpy, but it's actually really good. They have a lot of stuff from, I mean, there's a lot of history in this part of the world, so it's got a lot of stuff from a lot of time periods.
It's like just like these cabinets and stuff. Like when I say it looks dumpy, I mean it's fine, but it's like they've just like got this like, you know, whatever cabinets had laying around. Yeah, go ahead and just put like these Roman like statues, like
stuff. Lots of old like Greek coins and stuff from Islamic age, and I mean they've got like this skull over here. Oh, let me show you this skull over here.
Yeah, this is weird. This is what I saw a picture of, and I was like, oh my god.
The skull, you see these holes in the top? That's from surgeries that were done on it during, you know, not quite prehistoric age, but I mean a long time ago, like caveman style type stuff. But you can see there's 4 holes, and this one is healing, so they lived through that. But the other 3 probably they didn't live long after the surgery.
Pause. So they lived through the one, didn't quite fix the problems. We'll just keep going.
Yeah,
keep going.
And you can tell they did it again, and then it kind of healed, and then again, and it kind of healed, and again, and they died.
Wonder why they targeted that one area. Like, what gave them that idea? There's so many questions to ask about this.
MRI machine, man.
Did that to release spirits, or maybe something logical, like blood clots or the blood pooling in the skull from like a getting hit or something. But I don't think I'd want somebody drilling up in my head 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years ago. Not a good time.
Okay, so now, what's up with the way the camera looks? It looks really weird. The lighting is strange. I kind of look fat here. Like,
yeah, you look chubby.
Yeah, that's weird.
Got home and just ate?
Yeah, maybe. This is back at your parents' house. Mm-hmm. So this would have been after that I stayed with Will.
Slight safari room.
This is after I stayed with Will and Tess. So this is like 2000, probably maybe into 2011. So sometime when I was playing with Ryan and stuff. This is what this was.
Through our hotel, we arranged a rental of a taxi for the day, which we split with 2 other travelers, a girl from Japan and another American from Boston. On this day trip, we went to Madaba to see the oldest known map of the Middle East, to Mount Nebo to see the point where Moses viewed the Promised Land and subsequently died, and then to the Dead Sea to float around in one of the saltiest bodies of water at the lowest dry point on Earth. We finished up the day with a really strange beer run for our taxi driver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Madaba, and we are at St. George's Church.
I wonder why I thought we needed that little explanation.
Let's find out.
And what you are looking at right here is a tile mosaic of a biblical map of the Middle East. It's said to be one of the oldest and one of the best sources of knowledge for biblical history. It's pretty beautiful, and I haven't been in a church in a very, very long time. So this is a weird feeling, and it's kind of nice to be in a church that's old and rustic, and it's just kind of nice.
That mural thing on the floor, if I recall, they didn't know it was there for a long time. And then like sometime within a recent age, somebody like figured out that this thing was under there, and they started unearthing it. Like it was like a hidden surprise or something, if I recall.
We are hanging out on Mount Nebo. This is the second trip of our day trip that we're taking. Second stop, I mean. And the view from Mount Nebo is pretty amazing. And this mountain is said to be where Moses saw the Promised Land. Not really sure what he was looking at, or
Desert.
Eric may be able to give us more information on that later.
Okay. The famous view of the Promised Land from Mount Nebo now overlooks modern-day Jericho in the West Bank. According to religious texts, after escaping from slavery in Egypt and leading the exodus of the Israelites, Moses and his band of Jews wandered the desert for 40 years in search of the Promised Land. We did the same journey in a couple of days, by the way. Cars and maps are pretty awesome. Anyways, upon reaching the region Mount Nebo is in, Moses told everyone to go on ahead because he knew he would not be allowed access into the Promised Land. So he climbed up Mount Nebo to get a look at it, and then died on his 120th birthday. God personally buried him up there, and now the Middle East is a mess because so many people lay claims to the same strip of desert, largely based on the ideas behind the story. Thanks, Moses.
That's not timely. Not timely.
That's the Dead Sea. I'm stunned. I mean, it's just a pool of water from here, but I know what it is. I'm really excited. That's where we'll be going next.
Okay, so swimming in the Dead Sea on this side, you kind of have to go to like a little resort place.
So you can access it from, I guess does it border the West Bank or does it border Israel? I'm not sure exactly where the border goes, like specifically, but you can visit it from like one side or the other side. And the border, I think, runs through the lake.
From what we can tell, and that's what we've done. So we're at a resort with a swimming pool, and that's the Dead Sea. And it's actually going to be decent, I think, because we'll be able to go get really, really, really super salty and then wash off and then come back and get in the pool. So seems all right.
So we were in a taxi with a driver, you, me, a Japanese girl, and another honky.
Guy from Boston.
His name was Matt.
All right.
And then we hung out with him the next day as well. Mm-hmm. Like we went, like I think we hung out with him and went like north out of the city and went and did some other stuff. But yeah, I don't really remember the Japanese girl, but I do remember her existence. But we all somehow split like the fee for the day to rent the taxi. Yeah, the beer happens.
We will be down there, and I guess I will make some more video then. So wait just a second.
You can already see the people floating. This is so exciting.
Yeah, that's her.
Yosha, are you excited? Are you excited?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, so we are in the Dead Sea. And Katie's going to step back and go into the depths.
This is so cool.
Oh, that's awesome! I feel like we're at Willy Wonka's whatever.
Yeah, it feels like so. Yeah, put your feet down. It's hard.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
So the deal is that it's extremely salty. So it makes you very buoyant inside of the water. You don't like go down the way you feel. You just like, you can see your body. She just floats weirdly on top of it. It's a weird feeling. You can like stand like a pencil and it just like, you're not touching the ground, but you're just like vertical and like your nipples are out of the water. It's wild. It's one of the cooler things we've done on the trip.
It's one of the cooler things on the planet.
Yeah, it is really badass. And it's also, I think I mentioned this in the video, this is the lowest point, I think, on the planet.
Here, show me. I'm not standing, it's just floating. Like my feet are not touching, I'm just floating straight up. It's so strange. Okay, so it's weird. It's really weird. Like, it's hard to like explain. It's really, you're just very buoyant, obviously. And when you put your feet down, they want to pop back up. So it's a really interesting feeling in general. And all the cuts on your body, like burn, like because all the salt like gets into your skin. And now that I'm out of the water, my skin feels really, it's kind of nasty actually. So I'm going to put the camera away and then I'm going to go back and play around with it some more. But I haven't got my face wet and apparently that's a good thing.
There's, I think at this point, I don't think the camera was like super waterproof anymore. Like its water sealing was kind of like failing. And I think I was also worried about like the heavy salt and stuff causing problems with things.
So I got a little bit in this eye. and it hurts a lot.
Got a little bit of the water.
A little bit of the water, and then I've gotten it on my mouth a little bit, so I licked my lips, and it is possibly the worst flavor I have ever had in my mouth. It's like, oh, it's really, really atrocious. There's nothing like salt. It just tastes like sludge or something. So that's good to know, right?
It's like being between gravity and anti-gravity. Like, I can't touch the ground, it won't let me, but I can't fly. I'm kind of just stuck in the middle, and I like it.
And like you can swim. Like my body is vertical like this right now, right? Like, and I'm not touching the ground. But you can swim by like walking and moving your arms. So like,
might be able to see that.
Yeah.
We're not touching the ground at all. You're just floating. It's really, really strange.
Skin feels weird. If you rub your skin, it feels slimy a little bit.
When you get, I got out, and when you get out, you can feel the salt all over you. Just little grains, like on every single bit of your body.
Like what, gators in there in the water?
All right, so here's a little bit more of Dead Sea information. This point right now, where I'm standing, is the lowest point on Earth. And apparently the barometric pressure is really high here, so it stops UV radiation from getting through and does different things of that nature. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it or not, but the water is actually air temperature. It's almost hotter when you're here, like towards the edge. When you get out there, it gets about the same temperature as the air, so that's a pretty fun thing to experience. And Katie is about to cover herself in mud.
These pictures out of context look terrible.
Mm-hmm.
This is dirty.
I was not expecting that.
We'll be back to this in a minute.
So, pile of mud over here, this bucket, and it's pretty warm and kind of squishy and yucky. It's mud, and you put it on your body, and I'm not sure what it does. I guess it exfoliates or whatever. It comes from the Dead Sea. There's a lot of Dead Sea products out there, so I guess that's kind of what they're playing off of. I'm just playing off the fact that I get to throw mud all over myself and nobody thinks it's weird.
I think it's weird.
Sit around for 15 minutes, and then you hop in the water and you wash it all off. And in the meanwhile, you look like a badass. Come on.
It makes like a cloud when you get in.
Yeah.
Oh, I could have edited this differently.
It says smells like burning rubber. All right, submerge.
Oh, it feels weird on my arms. It's kind of bubbly.
Oh, it already washed off your legs.
Ugh, it's really nasty.
I don't think I could have been in a shinier area.
Fuck, that hurts. Okay.
No, don't do that.
I wanted to know how much it hurts to get Dead Sea water in your eyes. It hurts really fucking bad. Oh god.
Don't keep touching them.
Goddamn.
Is it in both of them?
Yeah.
You can tell I turned off my joke there at the end, like that I was really
Like,
experiencing
actually in pain,
pain.
yeah.
I can tell just in how my face turns and that I just stopped talking.
Again, not touching the bottom, just bouncing.
This might be my favorite part. No more movement.
So weird. It just like breaks your model of physics in your head a little bit.
Okay, so I have a water bottle that's empty, essentially. Probably could be emptier, but whatever. I'm gonna fill it up with water from the Dead Sea. And then I'm going to dry it like let it sit out and evaporate and see how much salt is left.
I hope I show because I don't remember how this worked.
And because I'm sure you're wondering, any extracurricular appendages definitely are very buoyant in this water.
Okay. We were sitting in the car and the driver asked me, he was like, beer run. And I thought, what? What are you talking about? And I couldn't figure out what he was saying. And he got a guy on the phone that explained to me that that the driver wanted to go get some beer, but he couldn't buy it by himself. So we needed to go with him to get the beer. We all initially thought that we were going to a bar and he was going to get beer and we were all going to drink together, but it turns out that we've come to this duty-free shop and we've gone in and loaded up on Amstel beer.
Like a lot.
Like, he got 26 Amstel beers.
I took a picture of it. I'll put the picture in here.
Yeah. And we just loaded them all up into the boot here, and we're heading on our way now. We've done the beer run. It's really strange. Like, we had to go in there. They stamped part of our passport to go and do this. So it's really strange, and they won't sell it to him. And they checked the trunk and everything. It was really, really strange, but still very funny. Juicebox is gonna get his drink on.
You were calling this guy Juice Box?
Juice Box because I don't exactly remember why, but I guarantee you he was drinking a juice box at some point in time. Like when we met him, that guy was rocking a juice box, and thus he became Juice Box.
So I know that Arabs are not allowed to stay at a dorm. No, I didn't know that, but I'm assuming that the reason that he had us buy the beer is because he wasn't allowed he wasn't allowed to buy the beer. Like
well,
he
can't
like
get the duty free, that's for sure.
I think he's not allowed to buy the beer. I think he has to have foreigners who are allowed to buy beer, and then that's my idea of what transpired there. You got to book a single room even if you're Arab or American. Oh wow, I didn't realize that. You get a discount?
I didn't make a video about this earlier, I'd forgotten, but after we got out of the Dead Sea, we like rinsed ourselves off and then got into a normal swimming pool. And like you get into that water and you seriously feel like you're drowning. Like because you become accustomed after the hour that you spent in the Dead Sea to floating, that it's almost scary the way you feel like you feel heavy, like really strangely heavy. So that was a strange side effect I didn't expect to have. But if you go in the Dead Sea, definitely get in a pool afterwards if you can, because it's just really a strange sensation. So there's lots of pastry shops in this part of the world. So we came in here and we got these things.
Oh God, look at that.
Reaction is...
It's good. It's kind of like a big ho-ho.
It's a big ho-ho.
Big ho-ho that you can tell was cooked well.
That's a good review, I suppose. So this place supplies pitas to places. Pitas are just raining down upon this man.
So funny. We laughed, but we still laugh about that.
Okay, so this is Dead Sea water, and this is a little cup, and we're gonna put a little bit of the water in the cup, and as an experiment we will see how much salt is left when that evaporates. That might take a while to evaporate.
You can already see the crystals that are on the edge of the bottle.
Yeah, you can. So
Can't
it's
really
quite a bit of water, but we have a couple of days here. We will set it there. So we've taken a bus out of Amman.
Yeah, that's the same guy. Like that I guess we just decided we'd go together. I don't know what the deal was.
We're friends.
I remember him being chill. Just like real chill.
I don't have any negative thoughts other than like maybe a little squirrely.
Yeah, maybe. I think he was kind of quiet.
I don't remember quiet.
Oh, really? I kind of do. I don't know.
And we are...
But we would have distanced ourselves if he sucked.
Yeah, so we wouldn't be with him on a second.
You're a good guy.
And we're going to check out Jerash in these ruins, and we might go to a chariot race. I'm not sure. I'm just going to see how the day rolls.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay, so this is the gate going into the old area of Jerash, and it's basically, Jerash is basically just an old Roman city that after being raided by the Persians and raided by the Muslims and then an earthquake, etc., etc., the typical line of destructive succession has destroyed the city, and it was abandoned for a long time after being a trade route for quite a long time for the Romans. But there is a large amphitheater style building in here that could seat 15,000 people. And that's supposedly like feet away from me, somewhere just right over here. And I'm not sure what else we'll see here, but we're gonna check it out. We're hoping to see, like I said, we're hoping to see some chariot races because they started doing them in 2005. It's basically like a reenactment. And it's supposed to be as accurate as possible. I mean, who knows what that actually means, but it would be kind of cool to see. And that happens in a couple of hours, so we'll see how this pans out.
I don't remember him being here. I don't remember Matt being there for this situation.
2 hours before we have the opportunity to see the chariot races and stuff. I kind of think it's going to be kind of like medieval times is kind of what I'm expecting, something similar to that. So no food though, so I'm not sure, aside from the entertainment, what the attraction is, but we're gonna do it. And this is, I'm standing where they have it. Like they just let you, like since it's not going on, I can walk out here. And you can see all the seating and stuff is up there. I'm not so certain that this is exactly what used to seat 15,000 people. Maybe that's someplace else. Maybe I misread, but if it's 15,000 people, it's a lot of people sitting on each other's laps. So we now entered the kind of the main complex, and Katie tells me that this here is the Temple of Zeus. And keep in mind, this is all this is like a Roman city, like straight up. So I mean, all the archways and pillars.
How do you learn all this information? How do you know what's going on around you? Never traveled or anything. So, some of it was just from like a guidebook. These days you just Google it. Like you just like read Wikipedia. I had Wikipedia on my DS, believe it or not, at the time. So like I had all the text from all of Wikipedia on my Nintendo DS. So I would look things up and I would learn through that. Nowadays you could just look up like normal Wikipedia. Also, like you get brochures at certain places, or you'll find like, you know, there'll be like a thing that's like a plaque or something.
Yeah,
that'll have
yeah.
a bunch of information on it, like different things like that. Sometimes you just like, sometimes somebody will tell you things. They only do chariot races during high season. Oh, word. Okay. This would have been in October or November, I think.
And
October.
it's hard to wrap your mind around what you're actually looking at, to be honest. Apparently columns construction was very robust because it's about all that's left. See way out here in the distance. Columns.
Yeah, like seriously, I was carrying my DS with me. I remember just sitting on buses and stuff, just like reading the history of countries that we'd be going to and stuff to try to get caught up on stuff. It's kind of ridiculous.
Columns.
Yeah. Whoa. This is the Romans' cones.
Yeah, they are rolling cones. Maybe we should just
I made you laugh.
call them Japanese
you
columns. What's back here? Oh, you're...
It's just my jacket.
Yeah.
Here's like an amphitheater.
Oh, I remember this.
Building, and it is packed full of...
Oh, yeah, you could like listen.
Yeah, me and Matt were trying to figure out if we could hear each other because it said that if you stood, I probably explained this, but if you stand at the little holes and say something, it curves around the whole thing.
Tourists. A huge group of tourists just walked out. And here's more tourists. It's pretty neat though. It's in pretty good shape. These construction types tend to stay in pretty good shape because I think they don't have a roof, so the roof didn't collapse on it and crush everything else. It's pretty interesting how high up I am, but like the guy from the acoustic middle of the stage, you can hear him clearly. Like he's not talking to me, he's just talking to people around him, and I can hear him like perfectly. It's really interesting how well constructed this is for such means. And I think they said that this can hold 3,000 people, so it's pretty big. Okay, so this is like the main roadway that came through this part of the town. And as you can see, lots of columns. And
I don't think it can hear me. I think it's like acoustically designed to speakerify him to me.
We're still here. But the thing that I thought was really fascinating is the ground. This is the original stonework from when it was built 2,000 years ago. And the ruts from chariots, like my foot is in the rut from a chariot wheel, are still like very visible in the ground. And that's pretty real. This is the second theater. And you can see that the floor has actually got some color in it where the last one did not. Seems about the same size. Maybe I don't know, a bit smaller or a bit bigger than the last, or the same.
Seems a little smaller.
Maybe a little smaller, yeah. And this character up here, this is Matt, by the way. We've been hanging out with him for 2 days now. I'm sure you wouldn't be able to tell, but my voice echoes a lot standing here, and Katie said she can hear me at this volume. Hello. It's pretty strange.
I said hello back.
Yeah.
Very similar to the, I don't remember the real name, but they call it the vertical
Kinda wanna go
runway.
back
It was
there.
built in
To Amman.
Just to this little
Yeah,
area.
it looks
Seemed really cool.
Yeah.
Chan and Lao. So if you
Well,
remember
Amman
that
as well.
video, I can imagine that that type of thing is probably fashioned off something like this. This may sound a little odd, but there's evidence that bagpipes originated in the Middle East as far back as 1000 BC.
Really?
Groups of bagpipe players at a couple of different tourist spots in Amman. This is one of them.
Okay, was that an overdub? I couldn't tell.
No, I couldn't tell.
You can kind of see that, like, if you compare this to the beginning, the way that I'm filming this stuff is a lot more like I'm thinking it out. Mm-hmm. Like it had really evolved a lot from the beginning of the trip.
Mm. Hey, hey.
Hey, Heather.
So we're at the chariot races, but I haven't seen a chariot yet. Let's see how this pans out.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I don't sense urgency. You're giving him a middle?
Oh, the dyes have it.
Oh, they got fake blood.
That was pretty good. The chariots have arrived.
Wow, look at him go. Holy shit. These guys are good at this?
Oh, I don't know.
This
This
is a
wasn't me
skill?
turning?
I don't know.
Yeah. In the pictures, you can see they're just wearing sandals, which is proof to me that flip-flops can do everything. It was cool.
Romans wore sandals.
I know.
Chariot race, and like they have like a presentation of like a Roman army and gladiators and stuff. It's actually pretty fun. It's kind of silly, but not too silly, and it's kind of serious, but not too serious. So it was a good time.
Scenes were good.
Yeah.
They had fights and they were pretty good. They were fully going at each other. It was nice. Throwing a piece of the
So this fruit juice
Some Eric shit.
amazing. It's like I don't
When you see that, you know, like that looks like
Oh, I'm just like, that shit Eric likes.
really?
I need the whip, man. We gotta put whip on
No,
there.
you gotta have it pure. You gotta keep it real.
know. It's this made of heaven and honey, and
Oh, honey is a different situation.
it costs, I guess, how much is this? This is 1.5, so that makes it like $2 or something. So it's a little expensive, but I mean, for what it is, I mean, it's like
How much fruit for $2 is
Oh, yeah.
expensive. Look where we live now.
A kiwi is $2 here.
a solid chunk of juice.
I guess a kiwi is actually probably like $1 here.
Yeah.
There's something odd about this part of the world. Like, I ordered this tea, and I'm here for shawarma, and I ordered this tea, and it came from down the road. Like, they called somebody, and he delivered it. You know, see people like carrying like plates of tea down the street like all the time. Something we've noticed a lot in Egypt, and somewhat in Jordan. But why can't they just get hot water in a tea bag here? I have no idea. It's just how it works. So this Japanese guy here that's eating with these girls, he's just trying some of their food. He has been, his name is Nove, and when we came over from Egypt, and that was like a week ago, I guess, he was on the boat with us, and we just kind of stuck together. And then we got off the boat and went separate directions, and like almost on a daily basis, we have seen him like randomly in Jordan. I mean, we've gone a long way, like hundreds of kilometers, and we're just like seem to be moving at the same rate. Yeah, yesterday we were just sitting like in an alleyway, and he goes by in a taxi cab, and he's like his head out the window like waving at us. And now he just sat down to dinner next to me, and when we were at Petra, he sat down to dinner at us as well. I mean, these are all like completely isolated random incidences. It's kind of strange, but I mean, we're on kind of the same tourist track in Jordan as he is, and so it's not completely impossible. Yeah. Tomorrow he
Knew nothing. I mean, we'd been to Japan, but we didn't really know
Anything about it other than what you would pick up as a
Yeah.
tourist. Yeah.
go to Israel, so probably the last time I'm ever going to see Nove.
Oh yeah, he went to Syria.
Okay, so
Okay, I'm a little worried about what we might say in this. This is the part that I was a little worried about. I don't know what kind of language we're going to use here, and it could be.
this might get us canceled.
Let's just keep it in mind, everybody, that this is 2010.
And it's also like whatever o'clock in the morning it is, and
Yeah.
I want to sleep.
That as well. I haven't watched it back. I don't know what we say. Maybe we're fine, but I just worry that we might not be politically correct as how I would be these days. Like I might be using different words.
it's 1:30 in the morning, and this is just like stupidly loud. But the thing that's interesting is that dancing, which is the dancing is weird enough in itself, but that's a guy. Like, it's dressed as a chick, it's behaving as a chick, but it's completely 100% a man. I mean, that is so out of place. Oh, she it just kissed that man, and he looks real excited.
My brain didn't think to say they. Like it didn't even occur to my brain to say that instead.
Like, this is something you would see in Thailand, but it's really, really out of place here. What in the fuck? I wish you could see the features of the character as well as I can, but it's just not showing up in the camera. Okay, so our plan for today was to get up and go to Israel. And our original plan was to take a 5-hour bus all the way to the south of Jordan and then cross over and spend some time in a city down there. But then we did the math on it, and it just wasn't very economical. It's actually cheaper to go, if we want to go to that town in the south in Israel, it's cheaper to go on the Israeli side. So we're like, oh, screw it. Let's just go straight across from Amman to Jerusalem, which they're like, 2 hours apart or something, including the border crossing. They're very close. So last night we were up really late because of that transvestite dance party that was going on.
Damn it. I thought I was out of the woods. That is a word I wouldn't use now.
And to like 3:30, 4 o'clock. So we ended up staying up really late and then ended up sleeping in until like 9 o'clock. And we got up and started moving, and then we went to leave. The guy was like, where are you going? And we were like, oh, we're going to Israel. And he was like, well, you can't go because the border is closed because it's Friday. So it closes early. So we're in Amman for another day because we can't get across the border.
It's open on Saturday?
Yeah, probably.
Huh.
So this is the Hashem place that we've been eating at like every day, the falafel and hummus place, and it is like banging busy. Like all of this, like in the hall, that little room, everything down here, over here. It's Friday morning, so it's basically like Saturday morning to them or whatever. So that's what's causing it. But it's making it difficult to get breakfast. Okay, so it's been 2 or 3 days since we put this Dead Sea water into this little cup to let it evaporate, and it's hard to see on camera perhaps, but
No,
the
it's
bottom
not.
is caked with salt now from the water that has evaporated. And we won't be able
Kunafa in Jordan. I don't think so. If we didn't talk about it, probably not. I don't even know what that is.
to finish the experiment. I just can't.
That's enough, man.
See it. There we go. That's not bad. We won't be able to finish the experiment here, but we're going to take some water with us, and we'll do a larger scale experiment, hopefully at home if we can get it all the way there. But it's interesting just to see how much salt is actually in there.
We had it at home. Like,
Okay, here, really quick. Look at this. I'm going to try to do this one-handed. It's hard. I'm going to reach in, and I'm just scraping the bottom with my finger. And look at that. How about that for a big glob of salt?
That's me methodically packing my bag. There will be no talking while I pack my bag.
so this is back at home, back in America.
Ikaruga.
It's 2011, so it's been 147 days since we got this water out of the Dead Sea. We managed to smuggle
It took me 147 days to edit this.
a little bit of it back in one of our small shampoo bottles. You know how they can be funny about having liquids on planes, so we were just a little sly about it. And we've had it sitting out since we got back, and as you can see, it's crystallized. The water is kind of like an oil now. It's probably gonna be hard to see, but it kind of falls out of the spoon at a strange rate. And the salt that has separated feels a lot like ice. It's really thick. Like I can't break it with this spoon without, muscle. And when you pull it out, it's hard to see on there, but it really does just look like ice. Like that's what we've got. And I guess we'll leave it sit here until there is no water left and we just have a block of solid salt. I sniffed it a minute ago. It doesn't smell like a whole lot of anything. It just smells like nothing. But I'm definitely not going to taste it. Would you like to taste it?
Oh no, see, I was showing people the Dead Sea water and I accidentally drank it, like picked it up and thought it was my drink. Yeah. I don't want to do that again, so no.
All right.
Wow.
So if you made it all the way through this video, you're brave. And the remainder of the video is just kind of me. I'm walking up in Amman and I'm talking about like the strange ball of like emotions and thoughts that were before coming home, like what we were thinking about, and we were talking about this a lot. So if you're not interested in hearing about that, then I would say don't watch any more of this video.
Tell me the ball of thoughts.
In like what we were thinking about and what we were talking about and how things felt to us at the time, it might be interesting. So soldier on.
Do we want to keep watching? Nah. Screw this guy.
These steps are kind of a defining feature of Amman. Like they run up and I'm sorry, I'm climbing up for a while. They run up and down the hills, like parallel sort of to streets, so that pedestrians have more of a straight shot. And then people's homes are just kind of right off of the steps. And I just had a massive amount of food, like a ridiculous amount of food. I had a ridiculously large fruit drink. And I'm just trying to walk off the food. So if I go and lay down right now, I'm gonna feel really awful. So I'm just finding all the stairs I can and going up them. And I'm climbing up to the highest hill in town, where they've got those Roman ruins and stuff. And I just want to get a view of Amman at nighttime. Whew. Okay, well this is Amman at night, or at least part of it. And I mean, like, compare this to Tokyo. It's kind of funny that this is like a capital city here, and then you think about like the night footage from places like Tokyo or Bangkok and stuff. It's completely different, completely different place. A minute ago, there were actually fireworks in the sky right here. I have no idea what they would be commemorating, but they're quite a ways in the distance. Maybe it's a sporting event or something. And you can see there's some more of the city behind me. So I'm sort of centralized from what I can tell. I really don't know the geography that well. And these are some of the Roman ruins, and this is that building that Katie climbed on top of, and then the security guard stood directly below her a couple nights ago. And she managed to not get in trouble. I'm really keeping my walk. It's actually kind of cold here. Not cold, but I mean, with the wind blowing, it's probably in the like upper 60s. And it feels almost like fall, so it's kind of nice because I really like fall. And it's just nice to not be blasted with heat. Once the sun comes out, things get really hot, and I mean, I'm sure we're gonna have that happen until we come home. But it's just nice to have the cold weather. And I'm sure, I mean, by the time everybody else finds out, or by the time this video gets posted, it'll be, obviously we'll be home because I'm way behind on editing video right now. But we are going to be home on October 22nd, and that's 2 weeks from today. So it's kind of surreal and strange to be going home, to be honest with you. So it feels a bit like, I mean, we're really tired, and we're coming home with, like, we're not financially broke or anything, so we're just kind of coming home because we're ready to come home. And home, of course, is Virginia. We don't have a home, so we're just going to be living with friends and family for a while. It's just, it's a really strange feeling right now, because it's just like, right now it kind of feels like, it's odd because we have a timeline now. It's so strange to feel like, I guess if you don't have that timeline, you feel like you're just going because you feel like it, but now this timeline is like, this is just how I feel at this exact moment. The timeline is kind of like, I have to keep going until that point. So it's almost like a sentence, which sounds completely nuts because I know what we're doing is incredible. But I mean, it has been like 405 days, and the exhaustion wearing on us makes it just, it almost feels like an eternity to think, oh my God, 2 weeks. It's gonna take 2 weeks till we go home. But I mean, I know it's gonna go by quickly. And it's gonna be in a completely new country that I've never been to, because we're going to Israel tomorrow. So, I don't know, it's like a huge ball of strange emotions that are associated with like going back to the States right now. And I mean, we don't have jobs, and we don't, there's so many weird aspects of it. And I mean, we get to go through the explanation of like the same questions over and over we're gonna have to answer, which, I mean, it sounds exhaustive right now because all we have to talk about is a trip between the two of us. I mean, like, all that's happened for the last 400 and some days is like travel. So like, we've run out of things like to talk about sometimes, and it's just like the thought of having to sit around and talk about traveling with people is just like, oh, it sounds like it just sounds really exhausting. Like, I just want to sit around and play video games, and if I could like go straight into a job and just have like a daily routine without like all the headaches that come around with that, I would love to do that. But like, we want to go see my family, and my family now lives in Oregon, and Katie's family is in Virginia, so we'll be flying into Virginia, and then it's like we want to spend Thanksgiving with them, so that's like a month. So, but after that we want to drive to Oregon to see my family. So it's not like we can just get jobs. Like, you can't get a job and be like, okay, well, in a month I need a month off, or like, you know, it doesn't work. So I mean, I have a lot of video to edit, and I've got a lot of things like trip-based projects and things, and I just want to play some video games. So, I mean, I can kill a month, and I'm going to be going to a friend's house and spending some time there, and that should be cool. But like, I don't like sitting around and doing nothing. Like, that's not in my personality. So to think of a month of things with nothing to do is just kind of crazy. That's hard to wrap my mind around. I don't know. I could talk for a real long time about like the feelings of going home, and I don't have any idea if it's going to be like accurate or not, or, you know, I don't know really what it's going to be like. So it's kind of like nerve-wracking in a way. another quick angle that I thought of, that I've talked about this as well with other people. It's like when we go home, we're gonna just drop right back into where we left. Like it's like our lives at home got paused. We went and did this, and then we came back, and it's like unpausing it. And everybody else's life at home continued to go, right? So it's like we're gonna go back, and all of a sudden, dynamics have shifted and things have changed, but our situation really hasn't. So
a lot of what I'm saying here is me assuming what it's going to be like, and I feel like looking back at it now, I was wrong. Like when I said that I was worried that like, I just didn't want to have to, because like you and I had just had nothing to talk about but the trip, right? But when we went back, nobody cared.
Yeah, it's true.
Nobody would, you'd be like, oh, you want a trip? Okay, cool, you're home. And that'd be the end of it. They wouldn't ask about it. And it's not because they don't care about you. It's because they don't know how to ask questions about something that they don't have any idea what it was. Because some of the people had watched all the videos, and those people didn't have any questions because they watched all the videos. And people who didn't watch the videos didn't even know how to ask a question.
And even if you didn't watch the videos, like we had lived here for 7 years, and I went and stayed with
You're moving
like
to Japan
my
now.
yeah.
Okay.
So just taking you even further to where you live somewhere. It isn't like a million places that you're traveling to. We lived in Japan for 7 years. I went home and I went over and hung out with my friends, and I don't expect much, but somebody just leaned towards me and was like, "How's China?"
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, good. I just didn't even know how to respond to that.
Yeah, I remember
I was
that.
just like, wow. Okay.
And another thing that I said that was not accurate was, oh shit, I lost it. I just said it. I'm going to back it up a little bit because it'll trigger my memory.
Yeah, people.
life at home,
But then.
Hold on.
right?
Okay. Yeah. So what I'm talking about, I'm sorry. Do you have something more?
No,
about
I'll
that?
go after you.
So here I'm saying that our lives paused and everybody else's lives moved on.
But it.
That's the total opposite of what it feels like when you go, when you go back. You, especially now, like that we've been out of the country even longer. You go back and you're like, fuck, nothing changed, and so much happened to me. Because like every single day you're doing all this stuff, and we went to like 20 countries or whatever, and like our perception of the world is completely different. And then you go back and like everybody else is just doing the same exact like thing that they were doing when you left, and you almost have nothing to ask them either, because it's just
I've
like
always got things to ask
well,
them.
but that's you. I'm talking about like normal people. Like just like it's like the same routine. Like you already know what they're gonna say, because you can't be like, oh well, what do you do at work? Because it's exactly the same thing that I did at work before you left. Like nothing changed. Like and so much changed to you that it's just like, and it's interesting to see me assume the reverse.
Yeah, that people are only just, you're going to be inundated with tons of questions about your experience, and everybody's lives will have changed, and that completely isn't the situation. Katie, not normal people.
Did you have something else that you were gonna say?
I don't think I remember it, but yeah, I think I can hear what you're doing.
Really?
Yeah. No, something happened. I heard that a little bit. There was like a gritty, no. There's something that ends up being gritty. No, it's not like a microphone. That's a headphone, son. A little bit. No, it has something to do with the other thing. You never sit there and do that. Yeah.
You can hear this? I'm just like, I'm doing this with the nub.
Yeah, I can hear that in my ear.
Weird. Which, only one ear?
Oh, I only put it in one ear, so I can still hear you good.
Which one's in your ear? Is it the left one?
Yeah, I have the left one in my ear.
Oh, okay. I'm playing with the left one.
So I think that you're right. People just don't know how to ask questions about this, and then you have the other percentage that don't really care.
Yeah.
Some people just don't have a global perspective, and I honestly was definitely one of those people. I'd even tell you maybe after I did this trip, still not very much of a global perspective. I'd been to some places, but didn't see the world as globally as one could. I still probably am pretty low on that.
No, you're getting sharper.
Maybe a medium.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, your thoughts about what you expected are really interesting to see.
There's also an additional aspect of this that maybe I probably won't touch on. I'm not really that super comfortable talking about myself, as weird as that sounds, because like we make videos and stuff, but like having conversations with people, I just don't really like to blather on that often. And I know I do, but it doesn't mean I am comfortable with it.
Outside of making videos, we don't talk about making videos. We don't talk about the things that we do.
Yeah.
I think that's more of a learned trait that I've learned from you, but it's like then you're going to have all these people coming and wanting to talk to you about that thing that you did, or at least you think that's going to happen.
I'm comfortable with it if the people that I'm talking to are familiar with the project. Right? But I'm not that comfortable with explaining it to people who don't already know what it is.
Yeah.
Because I know that the thing that they're putting in their head isn't what it is.
And you could say the same for this, like talking to people that are outside of the perspective of travel or the perspective of the world. It can be,
a lot of people will assume like that, like, oh, they're just rich and they went on a rich trip, or oh, they went on a cruise ship or something. Like their idea of what travel is gets applied, and then they just aren't even seeing at all what the experience was. And it's just, I find it difficult to convey that kind of information or whatever. Anyways, I think I'm kind of off the rails now.
back on the rails.
So it's like we're going to go back, and all of a sudden dynamics have shifted and things have changed, but our situation really hasn't. So to me, that's just kind of like, I'm wondering if that's going to be odd. And like on the other hand, we've gone and done like a million things, and everybody else.
So I do kind of see both sides of the coin here. I didn't know I'd get into it.
Home has not done, like it made us look like nothing's changed, and I mean that could be a weird feeling as well. So it's so strange. Like it's like 1,000 different things that you think about that all contradict each other, and that's kind of like what I feel like about going back to the States. So it should be strange to say the least, and hopefully by February I'll have a job. But I'll quit blabbling on, and this may have gotten cut, so we'll see how things roll. I like how people see me walking on the street talking to the camera, and they look at me like I'm insane. So I mean, maybe. You know.
Was it a good episode?
Mm-hmm. It was good.
Do you have to go to the restroom?
No.
Is my mustache still doing okay? Should I cut this thing off? What do you think?
No.
Just keep looking ridiculous?
Yeah, keep going. At least like after Halloween.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Looking kind of fresh. Maybe just cut one off.
Ooh, maybe I'd be Muttley for Halloween.
Oh, and I can be Snidely Whiplash? Is that his name? You got to get the laugh. Stop the pigeon, baby. We're going to need a pigeon. Okay, let's look at some pictures from this adventure. This is the weekly fighting with the thing to get it to be up there. Have you noticed that the Eric thing? I read my name here and it made me say the word.
It hasn't had a problem.
It hasn't had a problem since I flipped that cable around. So it's just that cable, I guess.
That's good news. You look like a real young boy.
I don't know if I have any pictures of myself with an umbrella besides that one. Or a balloon. What's wrong with my brain?
I'd say that's a mega doodle. Well done.
Think we could get it to her?
Yasmin.
Those have been floating around for a couple days. Because it was October. It was October 4th or something. Hold on. Let's figure out what day it was. I can figure out.
We could look up the school now.
Yeah, we could.
We never looked. We couldn't do that at the time, or we might have, but it wouldn't have been on the spot.
Definitely couldn't have done this.
Well, I mean, like at that moment, standing on the street, because
Yeah, it was October 5th that picture was taken. There it goes.
just all the regular commute.
It's funny. This thing doesn't charge anymore.
Oh, I meant to check it before.
It was charged up earlier. Here, just...
Oh, well, you have to make sure that it is plugged in and it actually sees it. The one time that I checked, it did stay on the whole time.
Maybe this cable is just jacked.
All the cables in the house now are messed
I'm
up.
telling you what, man. Anyway, there's the city. Yeah, it wasn't plugged in. Now it's plugged in.
Yeah, I definitely remember being impacted by that view. Oh, doing the bird.
You're doing the bird still. That is a cool picture.
Not supposed to be up here.
My development team is based in Amman. The head guy's daughter is that her? Is that her note? Wouldn't that be funny if it was? That'd be wild. Yeah, look at this. It says the burial of infants in jars was a common custom in Mesopotamia, Egypt, and Palestine. The jar was generally placed under the living room floor, possibly to keep the child within the family circle. Just bury your baby in the floorboards. You can't read the last name? Hold on, maybe we have it. That's number 9.
Abu al-Hajj.
That's her last name?
Hassan
Abu al-Hajj.
Al-Hajj. Educational college. What?
Not them? Ah, dang. And then this is how I got the information. Somebody asked earlier, how do you get information? Here's some of the information.
Yeah.
This is how I got the information about the holes in that skull.
Dead Sea Scrolls.
Early Christians used the sign of a fish. Like the Jesus fish. This is like a real Jesus fish. Cool picture. You did a good job there.
I'm good.
I know, I keep telling you, but anyway. Good use of the sun. Who's taking this picture?
Me.
Oh, it's between our heart hands. I see.
That Palestine juice.
Palestine juice, baby. You gotta get that for it. It's so good.
Cocktail.
This is that. We only talked about it briefly.
Mural on the floor. The ones in Israel are crazy.
This is something that's cool. That you definitely took that photo.
You see my face?
Yeah, I know. Katie, look at that. Look at that. I want that art, like, somehow in the house. Maybe I get one tattooed on me and you get the other one tattooed on you.
You started this once before, and I was like, okay. And then you were like, nah.
What?
Just getting tattoos that were together. And you said no.
What was it? What did I want to get?
Uglies.
Uglies. Yeah, right.
so
Ugly. You can bump uglies.
Yeah.
Okay. Look.
Yeah.
What is this? Is it a donkey or something? What am I looking at?
When did they say this was made? Like
he making
last
waffles?
week? Because this comedy is fresh.
This is dope. Yeah, I dig it. That's good artwork.
Dead Sea. From Mountain Nebula. I know it's something else, but I can't remember. Mountain Neep or something.
Starts with an N.
Yeah.
If you get the Ecray one, it's your screamed emote on here for a follower. What? If you get the
Screamy one, it's your scream emote.
I can't make words out of this sentence.
If you get the screamy one being the screamy donkey. If you get the screamy one, it's your scream emote for a follower.
That donkey might make a good emote. Oh, anyway, look at the sign.
Juice box.
Look at the sign. It's pretty wild.
It's crazy.
Has he got a juice box?
Wait, go back. For the juice box.
I don't see a juice box.
I don't see a juice box either. This is disappointing.
Why is the sign crazy? Because it says the Dead Sea. It's just like surreal that you're going to a place like that. Some of these places that we went just tripped me out. Like just being like, okay, this is going to be where we're going now. You're in a ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. It's probably going to be a lot of pictures of us floating around here. Whoops.
Look at your face.
Al-Bahar, Al-Mayat. What does it mean in Arabic? What does it, like if you translate that? It's a cool picture.
Mm.
I mean, if you ignore the blackface part. Oh, you know what we're doing here? Do you remember?
Otters.
Yeah, we're doing otters.
Mm-hmm.
Otters, did you guys know otters hold paws so they don't float away from each other? It's really cute.
Hands soft.
I'm an otter.
They have soft hands?
Yeah, I think so. See, dead. Oh, so it basically means the same thing.
Beer run.
Beer run, man.
Motherfucker said beer run. I was like, what? You can see it floating from the sky, unless that's a shadow.
Oh, yeah, there's probably one in motion falling in
Yeah.
the picture. Yeah.
Laughed so hard about that. Check him out.
You get to zoom in?
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a dinosaur, dude.
Mm-hmm. You think their nails just grow and grow and grow and grow and grow?
No, I think they get ground down just from like them running around.
But that would mean that they grow and grow and grow.
Well, yeah,
and grow
so do
and
yours.
grow. Yeah, but some animals, they stop growing, right?
I don't think so. I think that they like get used up and stuff. It's like a cat scratch things to grind them down and things like that. I think they keep growing.
I swore there was animals that just elephants don't have that, but they don't. Their little toes don't protrude. They just are there. Elephants don't have toes.
Kind of
they
have
have toes?
like little nubs. Like they have nails
Wow.
or something. They got
That was
something
a bit
there.
of a ride that we just had there. Let's find out about these elephant toes real quick. I just need to know.
Somebody said
Elephant
PETA
toe.
crane game.
What?
PETA crane game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
So
have
do they
toes.
grow? And they get ground down by walking?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they don't like have nail trimmers. Nature's got this figured out. Don't worry.
Now that looks like dinosaurs. Did dinosaurs have toes? Bronchiosaurus?
Fish don't grow fingernails.
Brachiosaurus?
That's a good point.
Do fish's scales just stop growing?
Yeah, so you guys are like you can like talk to each other and it like bounces through the inside or something. And like it was like apparently like a thing they used or something to communicate with each other during plays or performances. That's so wild to me. It still trips me out. Like the chariot ruts.
Cones.
Man, that sky's blue. Is that an airplane?
It might be.
Maybe a bird? Or no, it looks like an airplane.
Yeah, that's an airplane more than a bird. The hippodrome.
No hippos here. Doesn't hair stop growing once it gets as long as it wants to?
Yeah, there's some hairs
Maybe, yeah.
do that. Like my fingernail hairs. Or like my finger hairs. I don't think they get longer. Oh, there they are. Yeah. If they got longer, I'd be really embarrassed, but they just don't grow. And I'm not grinding them down. I'm not over here like polishing my finger
Pluck
hairs.
mine out.
Yeah, that sounds like an Eric thing.
I don't want hairy fingers.
My fingernails will keep growing. Teeth stop growing. And I do grind on those. Gotta wear a night guard now.
Yeah, Pompeii would be dope. If you want a taste of a possible trip to Algeria, Google. Okay. So you got your picture taken with these dudes. You remember this?
Yeah, I do.
And I think we were real happy about that guy's mustache. Mm-hmm. We're kind of happy anytime we see a good mustache.
Yeah.
Look at that man. He's like Tokyo drifting around that corner.
Mm-hmm. There was some drift to it, and that really surprised me. I think the ponies will love it.
Yeah.
Me? I don't want to die.
This beefy dude over here is giving you a thumbs up, though. You're good.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
He's covered in blood with a big sword.
Okay, it's starting to look better.
It's really good. Fruit, man.
That's one of the good things about you, is that I'll always get to taste whatever you order, and you'll always order something like that. So I never have to go, oh man, should I get it? I know you'll just get it.
So this is that restaurant. We didn't show very well. We ate here a lot. It was across the street from our hotel, if I remember. And it's like the famous place, and there's like pictures of the king and stuff, like eating there. And it's just sort of like back here, right? But it's also just spills out into this little alleyway, and they just take up the whole alleyway. And it's got a cool vibe. The food was really good. I didn't get the impression it was super duper touristy. And tourists went there, but it was also definitely felt like locals would eat there too. It wasn't like a tourist thing.
It's just
maybe it's
boosted
different now.
Because of being good, not because of being foreign accessible or being trying to draw foreigners to it.
Yeah. But I was happy that our hotel was across the street. And I'm pretty sure we got turned on to it by the fellow that we had met when we were in Amman. But anyway, that is the conclusion of our time in Jordan. And we're going to be picking up from next week we're going to be crossing into Israel, and then we'll do Israel and the West Bank, and then we fly back to America. I think we have quite a lot of Israel video, though. I'm not sure if we'll split this into 2 weeks or if we'll just do it all next week. I don't know how it'll work out. So anyways, let's see.
Some weird things happen in Israel, for sure.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to rewatch and see how we explain it and see how it lines up with my memory. But it was like it felt like the only night of my life I've done drugs, and we didn't do drugs. It was a weird night. A really weird night.